Welcome back to educator.com. For the next lesson, we're going to go over the area of a parallelogram. Now first, let's talk about area. An area of a figure is a number of square units it encloses. Now, another way to think of area is how much space it covers. Okay, so let's say you have to cover your book, right? That's all area because you're covering something. It's how much space that you're covering. If you have a hole in your jeans and you need to patch it up, well, that's going to be area because you're covering it's the space that you're covering, okay? Now, this square units, it means how many squares, 1 unit squares it covers. So, this rectangle here, if I say that there are 8 square units, that means each one of these squares, if it has a measure of 1 unit, so units can be like centimeters, inches, whatever, right? This is 1, this is 1. The area of this right here is 1 square unit. So how many square units is in this rectangle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So then the area is 8 square units. Okay, it's how many square units it's covering. If I say this is 1 inch, okay, then this is 8 inches squared, right? 8 square units is 8 inches squared. Okay, that's the area. Now, we know the area of a rectangle is base times height. Area equals base times height. A rectangle is a type of parallelogram, right? We learned that in the previous lesson. A rectangle is a type of parallelogram. That formula applies to rectangles and to parallelograms. Here, this is a rectangle. If this is a base, this is the height. We just multiply this side with this side and we get the area, right? We figure out how much space this is covering. For parallelogram, let's say I cut this whole part out, right? Now this is the height. Height always has to be perpendicular to the base. So this is the height, this is the base. This whole thing is the base. Height, base, perpendicular, right? Now, if I cut this piece out, see, I'm going to cut this out. And I take it over to the side. And I glue it over here. Okay, so this is all going to be right here. Then what do you get? This part I cut out, right? Then isn't this part a rectangle, right? So all this then becomes a rectangle. So this is gone. This was moved over here. So a parallelogram covers the same amount of space as a rectangle. So the formula is still the same. Just make sure if you're going to use or if you're going to find the area of a parallelogram, you have to make sure that the height is perpendicular. The height is from here to here. Okay, that's the height. This right here cannot be the height. It's like when you measure how tall you are. If you measure your height, you have to be standing up straight, right? You can't be like slouching, you can't be like, leaning over to the side, right? Same thing. The height of this parallelogram is not the side that's, leaning over, okay? It has to be straight, perpendicular. And that's the height. The first example, we're going to find the area of this rectangle. Now we know it's a rectangle with 4 congruent sides, meaning 4 sides are the same. That means this is actually a square, right? A square is a type of rectangle. So if this is 5, this is also 5. So the area is base times height, which is 5 squared, or 5 times 5. So we know that's 25. And then units, centimeters. For area, because we're looking at how much space it covers, it's centimeters squared. Okay, because we're looking at base and height. Okay, two dimensions. So the area of this is 25 centimeters squared. Find the area of the parallelogram. Okay, so the first one, this is 9 inches, 7 inches, and 6 inches. The area is base times height. Now again, remember the height and the base, they have to be perpendicular. So if I want to measure how tall the height of this perpendicular, I can't measure this, right? I can't measure it this way. I have to make sure I measure it perpendicular, straight up and down. So this is, the base will be 9, and the height is going to be 6. So the area is 54 inches squared. The next one, same thing. This is a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides. So we know that this is a rhombus. The area is base times height. Let's see, what is the base? The base, even though we know that that's 2, that has something to do with our base, right? The base is from here to here, so that's 10. And our height, even though the height is given to you on the outside of it, it still measures from top straight down, right? Okay, perpendicular. So the height is 8. The area becomes 80 meters squared. The next example, the base of a parallelogram is 10 inches. The height is twice the base. Find the area of the parallelogram. Okay, so if I draw a parallelogram, say there's my parallelogram. The base is 10 inches. The height is twice the base. Now make sure you don't label this the height. Okay, the height has to be perpendicular. So you could draw a dotted line like that. And that is twice the base. That means twice means 2 times the base, double the length of the base. So this is 2 times 10, which is 20, right? The base is 10 and it's twice, 2 times bigger, than it's 20 inches, right? So area of this parallelogram is base times height. The base is 10. The height is 20. 10 times 20 is 200. It's in inches, so it's inches squared. And the final example, find the area of the shaded region. Now, we have 2 rectangles here, right? This is the big one, and then here's a smaller one that's inside. So we're just trying to find the area of just the blue part, right? The shaded part. That means I need to do 2 things. I have to find the area of both rectangles, and then I have to do what? It's like saying, let's say I have a piece of paper. Let's say this big triangle or this big rectangle is the piece of paper. And then, so if I find the area of that blue, this big rectangle, that's going to be the area of that piece of paper, right? The whole thing. But then I cut a rectangle out of that paper. So then it becomes white, right? So how would I figure this out? I need to find the area of the big rectangle, and that's going to be everything, right? If I find the area of the big rectangle, it's going to be this whole thing. That's our piece of paper. And then if I cut out another rectangle piece right there, like that, don't I subtract it? Because it's no longer there, right? So this space right here is empty. It's not being covered. So you have to subtract it. Subtract the small rectangle. You're cutting it out. Okay, and that's going to be the area that's shaded. So again, the whole thing, the area, the big one is going to be 20 times 9. The base times the height, 20 times 9. And that is 20 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. And then I can just add a 0 at the end of that. Okay, that's how you multiply numbers. If I have a 0 at the end of a number that I'm multiplying, then I can just put that 0 at the end of my answer. It's 20 times 9. You can just do that too. 0 and then 18. Okay, so that's where that 0 comes from. Meters squared. Okay, that's the area of this big one. I can't say that's my answer because remember you cut out that little piece. Okay, so this part is not covering anything, right? It's an open spot. So then to find the area of this rectangle, so this is the area of just the first one. Let's say that's the first one. And the area of the second one is 10. The base is 10 times the height is 3. So the area is 30 meters squared, right? And this is the part that we cut out. So then I have to subtract it. Because it was originally covering this much space. But then I cut out this much. Then I have to subtract it. So my area of the shaded becomes then 150 meters squared. Okay. So that's it for this lesson. Thank you for watching educator.com.